Hey guys, it's Paul from rockclimbingcentral.com here. Today I've got the task of helping you when it comes to treating and preventing your smelly climbing shoes. So I had smelly climbing shoes around about 2 months after I started climbing. They just suddenly got really smelly really fast, and I needed a way to, treat them. So I used to keep them in my car, and on a warm day they would get really cheesy. So I needed to find a way to not only get rid of that smell, but also prevent it from happening again. And then if it did sort of creep in a little bit, just cover it up a bit. So just before I get into this, I just want to mention that this is going to be a few tips, around about 5 or 6 tips that I'm going to help you with here. However, I have written a really detailed article on rockclimbingcentral.com/smelly shoes. Now that's got around about 13 tips. So that's all one word, by the way. So that's rockclimbingcentral.com/smelly shoes, all one word. So go over there, really detailed article, a load of information on there, 13 tips to help you. So let's get into it. Right, so the way I actually got rid of the smell of my climbing shoes was by using washing machine detergent. I put around about a tablespoon in each shoe with lukewarm, not hot, lukewarm water or cold water. You leave it there for at least 24 hours. If you want to give it a brush with a toothbrush on the inside, go for it. Now, the one thing to remember is that you will lose some of the dye on the inside, and if you are going to put the full shoe into water, you'll lose some of the dye on the outside of the fabrics and the leathers. So just look out for that, and you will also need to dry them afterwards. Now, it's not comfortable climbing in wet shoes, I can definitely tell you that. So you're going to have to put some paper towels on the inside to absorb the moisture after you've left the shoe in water, obviously for 24 hours at least. You can also use a cold air fan. No hot air, because you can damage the shoes, and this is why you don't use hot water as well. So you can use a cold air fan to help you dry the shoes, or you can use a cold setting on the hairdryer. Now, I wouldn't really recommend this that much, mainly because you kind of want them to dry naturally with the paper towels on the inside. Now, there is an alternative to this rather than using washing machine detergent, because some people just don't like the idea of washing machine detergent, and you can just put a teaspoon of baking powder or bicarbonate of soda on the, I don't know if you can see that, there we go. You can use that on the inside of the shoe, do the exact sort of same thing. It's just instead of washing machine detergent, you can use baking powder or bicarbonate. However, you've got to recognize that if you don't wash this baking powder or bicarb out enough, then when you're climbing, you will probably have slimy feet, which isn't very comfortable at all when you're climbing. So recognize that as well. I prefer the detergent method mainly because I just think it gets rid of the smell a bit more. So I would definitely think about that. Unfortunately, it's true, detergent has a lot of chemicals in it compared to bicarb, but it just really does get rid of the smell a lot more. Now, another way of getting rid of the smell is by using antiseptic sprays or antiperspirant deodorant sort of sprays. You just put them you just spray it into the shoe or on your feet. So this is actually an antiperspirant deodorant foot spray. You can also get the antiseptic sprays. Some people say they're better, and they also actually destroy all the bacteria in the shoe, and the bacteria is the thing that makes your shoe smell. So I use this every single time afterwards I climb. I just spray it in the shoe. I don't use it on my feet that much. I just spray it in the shoe. Now, if you want to cover up the smell of the climbing shoes, I would definitely recommend Boots Bananas. So Boots Bananas go inside the climbing shoe like that. I'll just take these out. You can get these in the UK or in Europe currently. Hopefully they're going to go to somewhere like the US because they really do need that exposure. They are actually really good. I am not sponsored by Boots Bananas right now. I would like to be, because I really do believe in this product. It's made of natural salts and minerals, no synthetic materials at all. I believe they're handmade as well. And they smell really nice. They just cover up that awful cheesy foot smell from your climbing shoes. So when I used to put I still do put the climbing shoes in the car, and they used to smell really cheesy, but now that I have those Boots Bananas in my climbing shoes, when I get into the car, my car smells fine. I can't even notice that I've got climbing shoes in there now. So I really do recommend Boots Bananas. Now, again, there is an alternative to Boots Bananas, and that is by using activated charcoal inserts. These don't work as good because they don't smell. However, they do work. They activated charcoal. There's a massive hype with activated charcoal. You can get them for your teeth. You can get them for all sorts of other things. But the inserts do work. They just don't work as well as Boots Bananas. So if you don't have Boots Bananas in your country, or you can't get them, whatever, go for activated charcoal inserts. Hopefully Boots Bananas will eventually get to your country. So let's talk about how we can prevent your climbing shoes from becoming smelly. Now, this is a method which is kind of... not many people will want to do it, really, because it's kind of weird. So if you've ever heard of a fish pedicure before, it's illegal in some countries because the methods that some people have used, some businesses have used, have been wrong. And also people are just weirded out by it. So fish pedicures are a fish called the Gara roofer fish. I'm probably saying that incorrectly. But what they do is they feed on the dead skin on your feet, which is where all the bacteria is. It's where all the bacteria sort of collects, and that's what makes your feet smell. So after the Gararufa have eaten all the dead skin off your feet are less likely to become smelly. You can then go for a climb, and you can prevent your shoes from becoming smelly and your feet from becoming smelly after a climb. Another way to prevent your shoes from becoming smelly is by washing your feet before you have a climb. Straight before it, like right before it, just wash your feet. All the bacteria will not all of it, but a lot of the bacteria will go. You can put your shoes back on and go for a climb. Your feet shouldn't be as smelly, and therefore your shoes shouldn't be as smelly. Another way to prevent your shoes from becoming more smelly, even when they are already a little bit smelly, is by putting them in a sealed plastic bag and then placing them in the freezer. The freezer stops the growth of bacteria. It doesn't kill it. So if they're already smelly, they're still going to be smelly. However, they won't become more smelly because the growth of bacteria is stunted by the freezing cold air. So if you already have climbing shoes which aren't smelly, and you don't want them to become smelly, you don't want the bacteria to grow in heat, for instance, because that's when bacteria grows, in heat, just put them in the freezer. So those are my favourite methods of preventing, treating, and covering up the smell in your climbing shoes. Again, don't forget to go to the article that I've written with 13 tips. These, I think I've given you 5, maybe 6 tips here. There's more. These are just my favourite tips. There's 13 tips in that article that I've given at rockclimbingcentral.com/smelly shoes. If you go there, you're going to find more information. You're going to see, what other people have used and they believe has worked. These are just my favourite ways of working that have worked. Sorry. So again, I hope I hope these methods really help you. If they have, or if you want any more info, just leave a comment in the just below this video. Subscribe if you want more videos on rock climbing. Like this video if this has helped you. So yeah, I really hope it does help you. I've been Paul from rockclimbingcentral.com, and I'll see you in my next video.